The trauma of the pandemic has affected the students and left them with stress, strain, and anxiety. And to relieve them from the inhibitions and stress, we have among us Dr. Anjuman Nayar, a noted psychologist who deals in child psychology. She is a great torchbearer and strives to bring light of happiness as well as positive attitude among children, which helps them to lead a blessed life. She is here today on this online platform to inculcate positivity in students so that they may believe and trust in themselves rather than being impatient and judgmental. I am glad to welcome her today on Doctor's Day. Over to Dr. Anjuman Nayar, ma'am.
A very, very good afternoon to everybody here who's present for the webinar, and especially to you, my respected Rooma Pathak ma'amji. It's an honor to be a part of your school, taking a webinar here. I am Dr. Anjuman, a consultant child psychologist. I feel really privileged to be a part, sharing my views, my ideologies at this time of lockdown, wherein mostly people are anxious, depressed, more stressful. I just welcome everybody, all the teachers, all the staff members, all the parents, all the students to be a part of this healthy webinar, which is really going to help you out in some way or the other to make yourself positive, happy, active, and agile. So with your good permission, ma'am, I'm starting this webinar and I'm feeling very honored. We are nowadays talking about stress, anxiety, depression. I, as a therapist, don't believe in such words which give you negativity. When we talk about stress, first of all, we need as students, as teachers, as principals to understand what are the factors, what are the realms which are responsible for getting us into the pace of getting tensed, stressed up, anxiety prone. I feel everybody who's listening to me here is in some state of conscious or unconscious or subconscious anxiety. I move with a very different prospectus. I have my very different ideologies to explain the students, the budding students, the teachers who are just relating to the students, the principal who has the burden of every parent talking, conversing every day. She has her own battles to deal with so many people. For me, as a therapist, I will be wanting you to understand stress such that step by step, you can find an easy way to be out of that situation. The first realm that I'm going to talk today with you, all the parents, all the students is, at this juncture, what's most important is to take a armor of spiritual cosmetics, which is the need of the hour. When I start with the first realm, that comes out to be legs. I'm starting with a very, very different prospectus. You might not even be known to it because people talk about mentally, emotionally, spiritually to be strong. But it starts with all your body parts. When I talk about legs, I feel it's a suggestion to yourself to move on the path of truthness, to seek divineness, to seek goodness. In the words of Buddha, it's as it's just quoted out. Buddham sharanam gacchami, dhamam sharanam gacchami. This conveys that when you are moving on the path of goodness, all good things starts happening to you. At this time of lockdown, when the existence has challenged the community, we are under a big turmoil. Our existence is challenged. We have not to tumble. We have to become humble. The unpredictabilities that all of us are facing should not make us bitter. I feel they should make us more better. There is a divine power when we start walking on the path of goodness. There's a divine power that comes us, and a charismatic magnetism empowers us to do good and feel better. As in the words of Carl Jung, he talks about meaningful consciousness. When I talk about meaningful consciousness, it denotes that we should do whatever is coming in our life meaningfully and consciously. We have so many challenges. We have not to tumble at any point of time. We have to move on the path, giving ourselves auto suggestion that when we are on right path, right things are going to happen to us. Secondly, when I talk about you being a spiritual yogic approach that you need to follow at this point of time, combating your stress and anxiety, what's most needed is an invisible skill to keep yourself happy. Anjuman, a consultant to keep psychologist. Just a minute. I feel really. What's needed is to have an armor, a spiritual armor, which gives a smile to your lips and happiness in your style and projection. We all have invisible power to handle stress, but it comes when you start giving suggestions to your body. You become a bulletproof yogi when you have smile, because the first reflection of you as students is when you smile, automatically you're giving a suggestion to your body that everything is fine, everything is going to be coming at pace. There was, I'll just like to quote an example. There was a lot of youth that started following a monk, and they started going to that ashram of the monk. And one day, one chairperson came to them and said, why do you go to this monk? What do you get going to the monks? The youth, that gentleman from the youth organization told, there's a peace, there's a divineness, there's a calmness when we smile. And when we are going to that Guruji, we are getting, a relaxed arena of ourselves. And then he said, when you meet a normal person like me, he said, we are not getting any sort of positivity, because it is the positivity that you store to yourself. We all have got tremendous energy in ourselves, tremendous, and we can empower ourselves. We as individuals, when I talk about walking on the path, when I talk about smile, it means we are giving a suggestion to ourselves to combat the stress and anxiety. The third very important realm to fight with the stress and anxiety is our nose. When I talk about nose, it is nasiga gram. It is the tip of the nose. The truth is just in front of us. What we need is have to be open. We have to remind. We have to be receptive. We have to have faith, and we have to be open to whatever is coming, and should be receptive and just see what is the truth, and see the calmness coming in your body, your style, your projection. When you start believing in yourself, automatically positivities come in your life. Your faith works on you 1,000 times when you put your energies in a very positive manner. When I talk about giving yourself suggestions, it is giving suggestion to your legs, to your face, smiling, to your nose. All these realms make you spiritually, emotionally strong. Because if your body line is strong, then only you can prayerfully, mysterically help yourself to combat the stress. You can become a Columbus who went into the field of consciousness. You can become that experimenter who experimented and got so good results, making positive unpredictabilities possibly done. There's so many things which were not possible earlier, but now they are possible. Automatically, your suggestions start coming out. This particular webinar, I specifically want to just pinpoint all the teachers and the respected principal, is not just a webinar. It is not a process of just hearing and losing it. It's just you have to make it a part and you have to participate, coming out with things which are hidden in your anxious mind with so many queries. Here, nobody is to judge me or brand me or evaluate me. It's a process wherein I want everybody to participate and come out with all the things that are hidden in your, psyche, which is in your subconscious. After talking the three important realms, that is the eye, that is the nose, that is your legs, this is your smile, I come to a very important aspect of stress. Where does this stress come from? What is the reason for the stress and anxiety? It's not only the lockdown period. Otherwise also, consciously or unconsciously, we are always, having stress. What are the reasons? Why not we come across knowing the reasons? Basically, there are two main identified reasons of being stressful. I will give a parallel line to both of it. One are the external stresses and others are the internal stresses. Now we'll talk about internal stress, external stresses and internal stresses. I beautifully liked, Rooma ji, that you had a pen in your hand. This shows the gravity of understanding and taking out good points and, helping others at any point of time. I really appreciate it a lot. When I talk about external stresses, it can be due to a polluted area, external pollution. Negative stress starts building up. We have a field just surrounded by us. Whenever there's some pollution, it's one of the main factors that leads to us to become more stressful. The second very most important external stress pointer is when I talk about toxic people, toxic situations. There are negative people, there are negative situations that generate energy, which is also negative. Our system is a broadcasting system. It's a broadcasting station wherein our thoughts are affected and infected by the toxicity that is around us. I am telling you the point is so that after this, I can even help you combating with it. Third, most important point, that is when we are eating food, what sort of food is going to help us? Food provides us energy. It gives you a lot of energy, vitality, power to fight out. Your immune system becomes strong if you're eating a healthy food. It's also a very important external stress factor. When we talk about wrong eating habit, Sharira Shuddhi is very important. When I talk about Sharir Shuddhi, it means ahar, whatever you're taking, whatever you're just taking inside you, it has to be very, very pious. It has to be very, very sattvic, because it is again going to give to our body stress or no stress. Vishambh tejataha. When I talk about Vishambh tejata, it means eating poisonous food, eating junk food is also going to add a lot of stress to your body. So our eating habit, when I talk about eating habits, 70 to 80% of our food is supposed to be in a form of water. Our body is 80% water. So why not we eat food that makes us, more pious? It should be in liquid form. It should be in raw form. Till the time you're not diabetic. Why not give a lots of importance, especially for students, eating food that makes you strong, that gives you energy, that nourishes you. That's very important. And when I talk about eating habits, a vegetarian diet, a healthy diet is going to work about your external stresses quite a lot. It's going to help you. Very important is one more important point that I want you to understand for this external stress is when you are giving, food to your mind, that should be also positive. When you are seeking lots of importance to your ego, that is also you're giving a poisonous food to your mind. Edging God out. When I talk about ego, it is edging God out. When you nourish, when you massage your ego, again you're providing a stress, whatever the things are doing. I will be asking all the teachers concerned who are working at this time of lockdown with the students, with the parents, so much efforts principal ma'am is taking because you want to integrate the school system into a very positive system where children are learning, they're happy, they're balanced, in spite of the facts you as authorities are a little imbalanced at times, but with a smile on the face, giving a auto suggestion to yourself, yes, I need to work for myself and I need to work for others, comes a power to do something positive. So a positive food for your mind is very important. That incorporates of not having ego and working with students who at every point of time need your guidance and support very positively. When I talk about external stresses, the four main reasons now are when we talk about a polluted area, then we talk about toxic people, then we talk about thirdly, what food we have to. And the fourth is your posture, your body that has to be in a right curriculum, right status, right way you just compose and sit and exercise that is going to give you less external stress. Now I'm wanting to come to the very important realm that is the internal stress, which is really very important to understand at this difficult time of lockdown, where people are into the premises. You guys are working every day with a lot of stress and anxiety at your place, still with one aim, to help and to help others and to help yourselves. You have the one agenda to work, work, work. When I talk about internal stress, it's like we all have thoughts that are related to values. Values are related to beliefs. Beliefs are related to our conditioning. So our internal stresses are really related to our thought processes. Negative thought increase the industry of sorrow in us. A positive thought increases the industry of happiness. So it's very important what thoughts are we having, what sort of investment we are having. I especially want to talk to the students concerned, what thoughts process you are having, what sort of thoughts you invest. Your thoughts decide what you are. Your thoughts decide how anxious you are. Your thoughts decide how stressful you are. Thought is a process that comes and goes. It is not permanent. But our actions, if permanently we act on it, it becomes a part of our psyche, and the entire scenario gets into a stressful regime. We need to work on our beliefs, our actions, and the system goes on. For example, I like to project an example. If there's a person who's an alcoholic, he will have a thought that I have to have something, wine or any drink. And that thought will inculcate him to go to a belief system that that drinking can help me getting enjoyment. So the entire system of thought, action, belief, conditioning makes him do something wrong. So it's very important to have thoughts that give you positivity. Another very, very important example that I will like to talk to all the students, the parents, the teachers. Whenever you have some negative thoughts, you have to curtail, stop, evaluate, and stop them there and then. For example, if you are living in a house and it has all the windows closed, all the doors closed, and you see all of a sudden there's a poisonous snake entering into the premises of the house, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's a poisonous snake. It's a black poisonous snake. Your first action will be, you will be opening all the doors, all the windows. You will see to it that the poisonous snake, you will remove the furniture so that that snake goes out and you are saved. You'll try all the measures to see that poisonous snake goes out. When I talk about poisonous snake, it is very much related to your poisonous thoughts. When you let them enter the premises of your mind, here starts the stress. Stop it. Open the doors. Let the negative thoughts be out and see how relaxed, how cool you are going to become at that point of time. So you decide your thoughts, you decide your actions, you decide your belief system, and you decide your conditioning. It's a vicious circle. And it's you who has to take a right decision of your thought process. So your thoughts are very big investment in your stress and anxiety. Your choosing of thoughts is really, really, really very, very important. Your healing about the stress, anxiety automatically starts when you have a control of thoughts. Choose thoughts with great care. Your mind is related to your body, and your body is related to your mind. When you don't eat well, your mind gets affected. When your mind has negative, poisonous thoughts, your body is affected. So it's a vice versa relationship between both. So what you need is to see to it that you select thoughts very carefully. After discussing the internal and external factors for the stress, I would like to invite your attention to the systematic approach now, which I will like you all to follow, especially students who are budding students, who are new to the facts and figures. For them, it's everything is new. It's a new look. It's a new style of studying. We never used to study on laptops. Teachers were never making children study. It's an entire new scenario of doing things. But yes, our some steps can help us combat this stress and have a very healthy way of going about. The first important factor that I want every student, every teacher, my dear respected principal, to understand is you need students to discipline yourself. Discipline can help you chalk out a plan for yourself. You can systematize your day, even when you're working or you're non-working. Your system will help you. Your systematic approach is going to help you work wonders. Knowing is doing, and doing is knowing. We know everything. Everybody is known to the facts and figures. But when we discipline, we make a journal and systematize our activities, automatically good things start happening to us. A second very important point to combat stress, it's rather a remedy, is to prime yourself. Prime yourself. I don't know whether how many people understand the meaning of priming yourself. Casually having hands up, anybody understands priming yourself? Yes. When I talk about priming yourself, it means we have to enjoy what we have. We have to give a wow factor to whatever happiness we have been bestowed with. I have hands, isn't wow? I have eyes, isn't it a wow? Isn't a wow feeling? I am able to breathe, isn't it a wow feeling? Isn't the ecstasy of life that has given me the blessing to breathe? I have shelter. I can walk. Isn't these things are enough to be thankful? We have to prime ourselves every day. Be thankful, and priming ourselves gives us a wow factor. It is you are making you're hyping up your energy, your all the emotions that you have, whether positive, negative, all carry energy. But when we hype our emotions, we are priming our energies, and we are priming ourselves, and being thankful makes our day really good, really good, really good. The third most important point that I want all the students also to understand is it's a very meager thing. But me as a psychologist always gives a psychological aspect. We all go to take bath for it. It's a very meager thing, going to take bath, because everybody goes, takes a bath and comes out. But when we start enjoying the small activities, even of bathing, it gives its hyped up emotion gives us positivity. These small things are unnoticed, but if we start noticing and enjoying small sticks and bits, it gives a very positive outlook to us. The fourth very important point is exercise regime. It can be yoga, it can be dancing. It is again, our a lot of energy is in us. When we open our energy, we become more creative, and then that creativity again adds up of lots and lots of positivity to us. When we eat food, the fifth very important point is, when we eat food, we need to be aware. When we talk about awareness, अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी उपासना, जो हम खाते हैं उसकी हमारी एनर्जी पे बहुत असर होता है, हमारी बॉडी पे बहुत असर होता है. सो वट एवर वी आर ईटिंग, फूड प्रोवाइड्स अस एनर्जी, इट गिव्स अस पावर, it gives us positivity, it gives us happiness. Some people eat food for the heck of eating. No, we have to prime even our eating. We are not priming, we don't prime ourselves, we have to even prime our eating pattern. After discussing the 5 important points, I will come to a very important, again, a regime that is going to help you all at this difficult time of lockdown, is learning to breathe. I know that there's so many meditation centers that are teaching you have to breathe. Breathing gives you power. Breathing helps you, providing a lot of energy that will again help you to be positive. Stomach is empty, you take deep inhalation, deep exhalation. It is basically pranam brahmati vijana. When I talk about pranam brahmati vijana, it means pran is God. The shwas we are taking is God. How many of you as students understand that pran is God? जब तक हम सांस ले रहे हैं, that is giving us power and strength. So our pran is God. It is a conscious pause, it is a conscious shock, and it is a conscious direction to us that we are providing to ourselves. So we have different pockets in ourselves, and we have to fill them, and converting breathing into meditation again adds a feather to the cap. It should be a regime every day to have a practice learning to breathe for at least half an hour or 15 minutes for you students at a very early age. When you're in 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th grade, it's going to make you very, very focused and not fragmented. A focused mind always goes up. A fragmented mind never stays. When I talk about converting breathing to meditation, it means I talk about Om Deep Onkara. For example, it's a feeling of Anand Lahari. It's a feeling of when you're chanting Om. You're chanting from your Mula Dhara to Agni Dhara. When I chant Om, I will like all the students to understand. When I chant Om, I say Om. From my Mula Dhara to Agni Dhara, I am filling my entire kundali with positivity. Half of the people don't even understand meditation. I'm just putting my thought process into a line of action, and I'm giving a positive vibe to my entire body. You can chant anything. It's not important whether you're chanting Om Khara, you're chanting, it's not important also to chant. It can be anything. From your unhappiness, you move toward happiness. And when at this time of lockdown, when people are feeling that they are crippled and they're feeling they're not able to do certain activities, it's a time you get up, get going, and start your life. Be alert, be vigilant. There's certain skills that you have learned. You have to unlearn your old patterns, and you have to learn effective new strategies at this point to make you positive. You have to be open, you have to be receptive, you have to be clear, you have not to worry. You people who are students are not to be like rocking chair who just stays at one place and doesn't move. You have to understand what is right and what is not right for you. I can, principal ma'am, I cannot be seeing all of you, on the screen. How many people are there on the screen with us?
Are there?
Yes, ma'am.
100.
Okay, all right. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. This again
Total
gives me
number is 100.
all right. Again, this gives me a very much positive outlook and positivity to, imbibe everybody into the arena of positivity and happiness. When I talk about another realm to overcome the stress and anxiety is learning how to handle fear. We have two types of fears. One is legitimate and other is illegitimate. We have not to add fuel to fire, but we have to find out alternatives. We have to see how we can work on the alternatives. There has been a school of USA, there's a big university in USA who's given us three main points which are very important for all the students to understand. The three stool technique, which is very important for all of you as students, is to feel good. Second is take responsibility. And the third is learning skills. The feel good factor is very important for every individual who's hearing me. When we give an auto suggestion to our body that we are happy, we're in a good state of mind, anxiousness, stressedness always will never come across. It is giving a suggestion, pointing towards us. Yes, I'm happy, and see the world changing. It's divining yourself. You're feeling good about whatever is happening for a reason. It's okay. You have to see that how you can work on your positivity by working on your thoughts, negating your thoughts, being happy, giving happiness, giving auto suggestions. Maybe as earlier said by me, to your legs, your smile, your walking, your talking, your nose. Everybody it should incorporate yourself by being happy. There should be skills that you people should have. How you can develop certain skills. For example, you can wash your hands, you can cover your face, you can take a cleanliness regime that you can inculcate in others also. It's just a little precaution that you can take. So these skills are going to help you, combat stress at every point of time. It's just re-looking into your life, just rebooting your life, and taking the responsibility of cleanliness, clarity, working on a new style that is now a part of your life without any tension or psychologically distress. When I talk about taking responsibility, that is the third stool technique that I'm talking about. You have to respond, not react. There's so many news channels that are imparting programs, WhatsApps and Skypes and newspaper. They're giving you lots and lots of information that is, having some parts of negativity to our conscious mind. And when I talk about conscious mind, I like to students to understand we have basically two minds. One is the conscious mind and another is a subconscious mind. I'm not talking about unconscious right now. Subconscious mind is the master. All right, whatever you will feed in the subconscious mind, it will stay. And the conscious mind gives an order to the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind does not understand anything. It's a servant. It obeys the conscious mind. So whatever you're feeding in your conscious mind, it's going to your subconscious mind. Whatever the information you're taking, take information for 5 to 10 minutes in a day, and that's all. We have not to go in any phase of negativity, come what may. So you need to take the responsibility to be positive, to have healthy talks, to have healthy yourself, to make other happy. It's your responsibility. When you start taking responsibility, entire family comes in a regime of happiness. One gloomy, one anxious person, one stressful person can have the entire scenario of the family to be a negative family. After talking about fear, I talk about a very important aspect, which I feel is almost in every family. We are in a state of lots and lots and lots of anger. How many people agree with me? I feel almost everybody in our hearts of hearts is agreeing. We are getting angry. We are just, without any reasons, we are becoming so angry. When I talk about anger, it's Dirv Drishti Viveka. Dirv Drishti Viveka means anger can be observed. It's a thought. Who is seeing? The scene sees the scene. When I talk about Drig Drishti Viveka, it means anger is a thought. Whenever thought comes of anger, a stress, anxiety, pause. Look at it. What is the reason? Then stop identifying with your anger. My children are not getting it right time. My things in the house are not good. You cannot do anything except that you can change yourself. You can be into a right regime, and others will follow what they follow unless and until they are convinced to it. So anger is just the moment of thought that has to be given a pause and moved on. It should not remain in your psyche for long. If you give a pause, move out, you see magically the anger disappears. Sometimes when we see a movie, we identify with the characters in the movie. This is happening because it is me who is suffering. I am the same character. This is happening with me also. When we are seeing the video, this is happening with me. We are seeing lockdown situations. People are suffering from corona. This can happen with me. Don't identify. When you identify, your conscious mind is ordering the subconscious mind, yes, this is going to happen. We have to stop the thought here and there. Stop, halt, pause, and see. When you don't identify, your anger mellows down, comes to a halt, because you are consciously, mindfully understanding that you have not to go in the state of anger, because it's a vicious circle. You're getting angry, you're scolding, you're getting fearful, you're getting stressful, then again you're becoming angry. So the entire scenario of the family, and then when you as teachers are coming to the school where you have a very systematic, projection of work, you have to talk to the students, you have to take classes, you have to take so many instructions. If you are not in a state of good mind, my dear teachers, your students will never take a positivity. And I know under the good, leadership qualities of Rooma ma'am, every teacher is putting all the efforts I can see the glowing faces of the teachers who are putting all good efforts. After being into this stressful situation of lockdown, they're doing their best efforts. I could visualize from the, very good teachers who spoke to me a couple of times. I could see the positivity, the purity, the communication skills the teachers are carrying. This again, carries a very, very positive outlook at this point of time. So after talking about anger also, we need, after talking about anger, how to curtail anger, I would like, to talk about a very important point is to create a spiritual armor. When you have anxiety, stress, it's not inside you, it comes out, and the outside anxiety goes in. So your inner self has to be very clear, has to be very pious. You have to work on your inner self. I know it's a time of boredom, children are getting frustrated, but when we start exploring our enjoyment, we explore the ways that can help us combat the stress, see the ways come out, wherein you can, categorize yourself by, by happiness, and the regime follows. The last very important point, yes, I have to come about students also. This I'm explaining to all the students what is important for them to follow right now. Our mindset is most important. Our mind system is a system that always takes us in a path of getting into a pitiful situation. We easily target ourselves becoming victims. When I talk about victim, if somebody did not laugh at us, we'll say, this person doesn't like me. If somebody did not comment something good, we'll say we are not liked by everybody. We always put ourselves in the situation of being victim, victim, victim. And then we go in a state of self-pity. For example, students are listening to me. When their parents scold, they are saying, always we're getting scolding. If the parents are pinpointing कि तुम phone पर रहते हो या TV पे रहते हो, the children think we are the victim, victim, victim. Discard this being victim. When you discard this being victim, automatically your mindset starts moving towards positivity. Don't be a victim. Don't go in self-pity. The second most important point being of a mindset is when you have got a stuck mindset. We continue doing whatever we are known to. We basically do what we are known to. We don't try to create things. We are very much confined in the fence and the fabric of whatever we know. Now we have to become technologically savvy persons so that we can combat the stress that is coming when we are not known to facts and figures. We need to learn. We have not to be in a stuck state of mindset. Whether as children, parents, teachers, principals, everybody, we have to cache our intelligence. We have to work at least 1 hour in a day to cache this intelligence so that we can have a third important realm of the mindset, and that is the creative mindset. When we talk about creativity, it focuses on all those realms. We need to categorize ourselves as students. What are the areas I can do better? What are the areas I can focus so that after years, maybe a couple of years, I'm in a position to demarcate myself and take a right decision in which path I have to move about. Talking about all the important points which can help you combat stress and anxiety. My dear students, there's certain tips for you which you need to know, you need to remember very thoroughly. I feel all the students are with me listening. Is everybody with me? Can I have my hands up, please? Yes, students? Yes, students? I feel good that everybody is part of the webinar. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for the students who had a hands up with me. Thank you so much. Students, there are the 5 pointers that you need to work on very nicely at this point of time. First is a halt. Halt. When I talk about halt, it is hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. These four realms that come under halt are very important. You have to work on what you're eating, your style, what you're eating. Food, I've already explained, plays a very vital role at this time when you have to fight, you have to have a good immunity, you have to have a strong body, you have to have a, a system of your body that is very, very positive working for yourself. Second is anger. I've talked about anger. It's just an emotion, it's just a thought. Halt. Because if you are angry, you're just infecting yourself. Other things are going normal. You have to work on the anger. Third is being lonely. Try to find out, situations. Whenever you are lonely, work on it. It can be music, it can be talking to friends, it can be reading, it can be anything. You need to demarcate. This is the right time when you're in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, when you can, categorize yourself. You are given the opportunities to attend such type of webinars. We at a young age had never such opportunities. We learned it. But your, schools, your teachers are giving you such a fabulous environment where you have the capacity to learn so many things. And third is the tired, your sleep pattern. Your phones are going till night. It is having a very negative negation on you. You have to systematize yourself. When you're systematizing, automatically things will work. So the first point is halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Work secondly on your breathing. Your breathing affects your nervous system, your body regime. Your inhalation, your exhalation is very, very, very important. Breathing is important because it's again relating your better sleeping patterns, your better positivity develops, and the hormones produced in your body are going to combat stress in a very healthy manner. Your sleep regime is equally important. Second very important point for you students is a very positive self-talk to yourself. My dear lovely students, you're very young and you understand what's going around. Maintain a journal for yourself wherein you write positive things to yourself. I'm happy. I'm blessed. I am studying very well. I'm trying to be disciplined. I'm doing good things. Always talk positive to yourself. This practice, once formulated, is going to do magic in your life. Your negative thoughts, your negative talk can do disasters to you. If you maintain a journal and write at least 10 positive things, still 10 positive talks to yourself, see how good things start happening to you. Even at the time of adversities, even at the time of unpredictabilities, when things are not sure, we can work on ourselves. We can have healthy, positive, pure, vibrant thoughts, talks to ourselves. So students, maintain a journal for yourself, wherein you just write morning, evening, you write positive things to yourself, and your entire life gets balanced out. Third, very important point is your self-care. Listening music, being on the phone is not self-care. Discipline yourself with imparting yourself an hour for all this. Rest time, it's needed for your self-care. Personal needs, me time. Give me time to yourself. If you have time, when you're not going to your schools and taking your classes online, you can give 30 minutes to yourself, wherein you have a timetable for yourself for the entire day. What you're going to do at what time. When you systematize yourself, your system has an auto suggestion to work in a very positive manner because your next work is decided. Read books that provide food to your brain, your heart and soul. Give some time to music. Give some time to studies. Categorize your time very nicely. Give your me time. Me time is very important for you. If you learn at a very early age, in the times to come, you will be the most happiest children in the world. Then comes the exercise regime. Whenever you get time, take a time for yoga. Maybe in a room, you can do your pranayama or a little yoga, because you'll ask me why I'm putting on breathing exercises, yoga, because in this difficult time of COVID-19, where your breathing pattern plays a very vital role, because it attacks your lungs. Once your inhalation and exhalation, your pattern of breathing is good, your pranayama is good, you're having certain yogic exercises, this is going to help you. Your immunity system is going to become strong. Take out time. Make a journal wherein you're having a positive talk to yourself every day. The way you eat, the way you walk, it should be every day. Then your me time is very important. And the next is your exercise. Exercise for 15 minutes. Breathing for 15 minutes is going to really help you out. Last important time, very important thing that I want all the students to know and understand is prepare for success. Prepare for success. Plan and organize yourself. Don't be overwhelmed by the situations. Plan, systematize, organize. Once you've planned the things, once you've organized the things, see the changes in your life. Your life changes. You calm down. You are not hyper. You be organized. I have a time in the morning for me time. I have a time for exercise. I have a time for my online classes. I have a time for music. I have a time for reading. I have a time for a little time for my phone also to see the important information. And see, you can visualize everything that is going to happen. Once you visualize a positive self for yourself, see your life changing. So you need to prepare for success at this right age of 13, 14, and see the platform, a journey full of enthusiasm, full of positivity ready for you. It's very, very important. And last, I would, I would invite all the teachers, the staff members, the parents, the students, respected principal, to see to it any child in the school, whosoever feels a little anxious, is feeling a little stressful with whatever the situations, they can seek help, maybe from a counselor. I'm a consultant child psychologist, maybe from me or any other consultant. You can talk. You have to speak out things. Whatever things perturb you, students, make you anxious, are in your psyche, are, maybe your relations, maybe studies pressures, parental pressures, you need to speak out. Talk to your counselor. Talk to any of your good teachers you have faith on. You can talk to your principal. You can seek help. Don't go in stress or anxiety. Speak out things. When you speak out, you become a little balanced. When you get a good advice, you become more balanced. And once you're balanced, your regime, your equilibrium is maintained. And then, therefore, you're a happy you. Discuss things. If you are becoming aware, if you are working on a healthy way to combat stress, you become a happy individual, a happy soul. So I feel I have taken more than an hour of everybody here who's with me, and I've discussed with you certain tips to combat stress. For all the students who are with me, I would just like you people to discipline, number one. Number two, have positive vibes to yourself, positive talks to yourself. Seek help whenever you need. You're never alone. You have beautiful, wonderful teachers, a very nice principal. You can talk, you can discuss, You can speak out things with your friends, with your relatives, whosoever you have faith on, but don't keep into the arena of your mind. Don't get stuck up, speak up things. So I'm ending up this webinar on this note. Love everybody, be compassionate, be positive, have healthy talks with everybody. Make yourself a positive being and work on yourself. Your working on yourself is going to do wonders, and nobody from outside is going to come. It's you, yourself, who's the master, and do really good to yourself. Thank you so much. Thank you, Principal Ma'am. Thank you, all the staff members. Thank you, my loving students and the parents, for being a part of the webinar. I hope you enjoyed and got certain tips to combat the stress and anxiety. I wish all the goodness to everybody. Just take some precautions, some prevention, some prayers, some positivity every time. These 4 P's are really going to work. Prevention, perseverance, positivity, and prayers are going to work for you. Start today. Thank you so much, everybody.
We have few questions. Can we take?
Yes, of course we can take.
Yeah. It's Tanuj Goyal of class 12.
You are not audible. You are not audible. I cannot hear you. Your voice is not audible.
Yes, ma'am. It's
And now you're audible.
Tanuj Goyal of class 12. He's asking how to deal with stress due to uncertainty about future, especially career-related or admissions.
What's the name of the child?
Tanuj Goyal of class 12th.
Hi, Tanuj. Are you there with me? Is Tanuj there with me?
Yes, find him. Must be there. He's
All
giving
right.
his question.
Okay. Tanuj, it's a very nice question you have asked from me because one realm that I deal with is, the career part also, because being a psychologist, there's so many students coming to me for their career also. Tanuj, this is the time that when you're not to take any sort of stress. When we take stress, we already make ourselves stressful. We have to find ways in which we can find strategies which can help us move in this line. For example, I talked about preparing for success. You have to plan out. We have to see to it that we have got our psychometric test done. And after getting the psychometric test, we are able to demarcate which is our line we have to go about. And after getting the results, we can seek, any advice from any psychologist, online also, you can take an online advice and then you can start preparing on those lines. Look, when we talk about unpredictabilities, everything is unpredictable. But here, after this entire webinar, I think you must be very clear. If our focus is clear, unpredictabilities will not harm us. We have already blessed with so many things. You need to prepare, plan, organize, get a psychometric test done, and then you can, your stream will be, you'll get the stream, and then you can talk to some good psychologist, and that psychologist can guide you for it, and you get a way out to move about. Yeah.
One from Hridaya of class 10. She wants to ask, what are the main reasons behind stress?
Oh my God. I feel my, her name is Ridya.
Hridaya, right.
Hi, Ridya. This is again Dr. Anjuman talking to you. Ridya, I conducted this webinar very clearly, very specifically, not talking about lockdown or anxiety or stress only, but perpetually I explained all the reasons of stress. I told about internal stress. I told about external stress. Internal stress, the reasons are basically your thought process, your negative thoughts make you stressful. So we need to work on those internal stresses. When I talk about external stress, I talked about toxic people and situation. Be away from them. I talked about your eating habits. I talked about your posture, and I talked about polluted area. So these are the external stresses, and internal stresses are your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, your conditioning that you need to work. Just to work aligned towards being positive. When I connotated right now about positive talks, is when you start giving positive talks to yourself, you work on your positivity and you get very nice results for yourself. Yes.
Yeah, another question. It's from Ansh Gupta of class 12. He wants to ask, what is the difference between stress and anxiety?
Okay. When I talk about stress and anxiety, when we talk about, anybody can be anxious. Anybody can. It's a palpitation that increases. It increases when something you're not expecting happens to you. So you become very anxious. It's a pattern of your behavior. But stress is a continuation. When it's for a long time, it becomes a stress. You can be anxiety prone for a small period of time, but when I talk about, so it's for a long time, it changes into stress, short term and long term. An anxious person is very much prone to become a stressful person. So that's why I'm talking about, it's again a realm, it's again a vicious circle. That's why you need to work on not being anxious. Your less anxiety will lead to less you being prone to stress.
One question. She's Ashna of class 12. Is coffee a baby stimulant that leads to anxiety?
Mm, Ashna, you've got a beautiful name. My daughter's name is also Ashna. So I'm so happy to talk to you. Yes, Ashna, look, everybody has, their own viewpoints. For some, it's something that, upgrades your emotions. But for me, I feel it's more of killing, because it's a little sort of a sedative, because, you get active, and after being active for some time, again you are wanting to imbibe coffee in your eating and drinking regime. So I will never propagate coffee for students or elders also. Again, it can lead to high bp, your anxiety levels increase, and your stress level in a long run can also increase. So I will never propagate coffee at all, especially for students. I'm surprised by the sentence coming like ccds and all that stuff. This is a real no for students. And I never want children to be on mild sedatives also, because they boost up you for some time, and again when you are down, then you come to the same regime. That's what is the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. Psychiatrist gives you medicines, to see to it, your stress busters. For some time you're happier, but a psychologist like me will counsel you more, tell you the reasons, and then you ask you to follow a regime. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what I was also wondering. Coffee, a 10th class student. Another question is from Lakshay, again 10th class. He's asking, what happens when we are stressed?
I gave a very nice example of a poisonous snake. ये वाली बात हो गई पूरी रामायण के बाद. You're asking me कि राम और सीता बहन भाई थे. So it's like I've explained the entire scenario. Like, being stressed is making you a negative person. It's inhibiting, it's impairing you, it's impairing your working, it's working style. You're not able to work, your bp, your body entire goes in the realm of being entirely inactive. Your thought process, your relationships with others matters, because you are not in a right state of mind. So stress, a no. Just working on yourself, happy moods, happy notes is very important. No stress. Stress can lead to a very negative phase of your life, so we don't want any stress.
Krishvu is asking, how does anxiety affect us biologically?
I explained Khushbu very nicely. I think I have answered many questions while taking my webinar. Like our body is related to our mind, and our mind is related to our body. If we eat something and it is not okay, our body is affected. We can have cramps. We are eating stale food. It can have problems of body. Fine. In the similar way, when we have negative thoughts, we have poisonous thoughts, it can affect our body. We can have hypertension, we can have bodily pains, we can have high palpitations. So there's a big relationship between our mind and body has to be in the same equilibrium, right equilibrium, so that they are at pace with each other.
Let's take one more. It's Samipta from class 11. She's asking, how can we escape from the situation of anxiety and stress? Just by positive thinking or...
I gave you a very good, when I explained in a very nice manner each. And when I talk about discipline, when I talked about priming yourself, priming your bath, then I talk about meditation, then I talked about breathing. All these techniques are going to work to combat stress, and then working for your fear, then working for your anger. I think all these are the things that you need to work on. That's why I give a detailed, before the giving a pattern to the children, I just explain stress in a very descriptive manner. So these, again, you're having a discipline, you're priming yourself, your exercise, your breathing, your meditation, all these going to work for you.
Just one, this time I'm finding a different one, like how to help someone else, maybe in the family or friends, who feel anxious, maybe due to corona or otherwise also.
Look, first of all, this can happen to anybody. So we need not, have, unconscious, subconscious, negation for it. Can happen. It's a virus. It can happen to anybody. So we need to have, first of all, not a prejudice for the person who's having. It can happen to anybody. If at all it's happened and they're out of that danger after 14 days or 21 days, then we can start a little bit of counseling, helping them out, let them forgetting those days by talking something healthy to them, and not repeating although that's happening कि तुम्हारी family में किसी को तो नहीं हो गया, तुम्हारे को तो नहीं हो गया. Let's not talk about. The more we talk about any negativity, the more that happens to us. So talk a positive. It's happened. It's passed away. So let's move on. It's okay. Just take precautions and have preventive measures. So we have to have a healthy talk with the people who have suffered, or after suffering, they're meeting you also. It's fine. It can happen. It's all right. It's a virus.
Yeah, that's it, ma'am.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anjuman Nayar ji. It was really so enlightening and knowledgeable words. I hope
so
these are actually going to help not only students but other members also. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you to Rooma ma'am ji for, I really appreciate her for being the part of, the webinar. And I thank you everybody who was a part of the webinar. I hope everybody got certain tips in this webinar.
Yes, definitely, ma'am. Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Just wanted to inform the recorded version of this webinar will be available on YouTube and Facebook too. So anybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Do attach me to that, such that
sure.
my
Yes.
Thank you so much. Sure. Thank you. God bless. God bless.